met her just yesterday, and she says to me in this pretentious way, you smile so much and your laugh is such that I don't think you can be serious, oh no. But it's okay, I don't mind. Deep down I'm just a shallow guy, hiding secrets behind these eyes, and you would never quite be satisfied.
Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas, and today's surfboard review is on the Uber Driver XL by Lost Surfboards. Now I have two custom boards. They're both the same exact dimensions. They're both 5'5". I have it in the new carbon wrap, which Lost is calling diamond carbon wrap, and we'll talk about that as we get into the construction a little bit later. And then I also have it in the Proformance. This is a PU foam with a polyester resin. So this is going to be a great review. Sit back, get your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Now as we start talking about the Uber Driver XL and how we started to do a review on this board, it was a pretty cool story. I was headed to Lost, talking to them about getting the Rad Ripper for review and the collaboration on the MR Lost California Twin. I mentioned to them that Aaron and I were headed to BSR Surf Resort to do some board testing, and they're like, oh, you gotta take the Uber Driver XL. Our team riders were really liking it in the Stab High event, and then some of the employees really enjoyed riding the Uber Driver XL in the public session with the advanced setting, just how good the board fits in the pocket. And I said, yeah, that'd be great. So we kind of agreed on some custom dimensions, which are real close to the stock, but they kind of had free range. Like I gave them the ability to do what they think would be best for me, and they came up with these dimensions. And like I said, they're real close to what I would ride if I was just grabbing some stock boards. But the other thing I want to mention about this review is in 2018, I did the review on the original Uber Driver. And since that review, they've made revisions for 2019 on an updated Uber Driver. And then they came out with the Bro Dims Uber Driver XL. And we're going to talk about the revised one for 2019 Uber Driver, and then we're going to talk about the XL. So this is going to be super fun. Check it out. So let's start with the revisions or changes made in the Uber Driver 2019 model compared to the 2018. Now, if we go on the Lost website, they're talking about the changes being talking to the team guys, getting feedback, looking for a high performance feel type board in less than average surf. And the feedback from the original Uber Driver was it was great performance, but it still needed a little bit of wave to get going for that board to really start to shine bright. So what did Matt do? He made the changes. The changes are less overall rocker, a little bit wider in the nose and a little bit wider in the tail. So with wider nose, that surface area is going to give you better paddling. Less rocker is going to have better planing speed down the line. A little bit wider tail is going to give you more surface area and enhance that speed and projection through maneuvers. These are all key things that we always talk about that we want in a small wave performance board. So those are the changes for 2019 and the 2018 Uber Driver. Now let's go into the Uber Driver XL. One of the things that Matt and those guys do at Lost really well is they make the Proformance or the dimensions for surfers like pros and like advanced or expert surfers, but they also focus on, the Bro Dims, where they're looking at guys that are weekend warriors, maybe a little bit bigger guys that are heavier, and they want to put extra foam in certain areas, make the board more user-friendly, but still rip on them. So hence they put the XL standing for extra large, right? Meaning extra large guys or making it more user-friendly. And what they did was they took the revised or updated version of the 2019 and they put in a little bit more width again in the nose and in the tail. They also took the deck and it's a little bit flatter deck, right? So they're carrying the foam out to the rail and you're getting a fuller rail, it's still round, and it's carrying good speed. It's very forgiving. But what I like about what they did with the XL is when you carry that foam out to the rail right here, it makes it a little bit harder to sink the rail when the waves get bigger. So let's talk about the EPS. We know that they're very topical. You got a big thick rail, you're surfing a 4-foot wave, 5-foot wave. Is this going to be able to penetrate the surface and be able to hold it? Well, because of the fuller rail, they moved the apex of the rail down lower so that this board would have traction and hold. So it's pretty cool. So let's say one of our guys in our community makes a comment on YouTube and says, hey, I'm like 5'8" and I'm 200 pounds and I like a shorter board that's going to give me performance, like a high performance feel in small waves, but I don't want it super long. That description of what he's looking for fits the Uber Driver XL. 200-pound guy, 5'8", he could even be in really good shape, but he wants the board to fit in a small transition. And that's what I felt like the Uber Driver XL did really well at BSR Surf Resort, was even though that wave had a critical spot to it, I could hit it. I was getting the pop out of the carbon wrap, and the EPS foam had that liveliness, but in the transition in the pocket, this board fit. So for me, it was a home run, and I believe that there's a lot of my friends that are bigger guys that I surf with all the time where they're 5'10" and they're 205, and they don't want to ride a 6'1" or 6'2". They want to ride like a 5'10", something roughly their height or maybe even an inch shorter, because in that 1 to 2 foot range, we want the board to fit in its small, tight transition. I mentioned the changes, and some of the things that he didn't change that were great, that from the beginning on the original Uber Driver, was the concaves, right? Single to double between the fins, and right behind the third fin, it's got that V out the back, which helps it transition from rail to rail. Low centerline rocker, right? So it's really fast, but giving it a little bit of rail rocker by the way Matt does the concaves. So none of that's changed that I know of, right? It's the width in the nose, the width in the board, width in the tail, and the Uber Driver XL, when you shrink it down in the dimensions, it's going to be a little bit shorter than the revised Uber Driver. Now I want to talk about the construction that Lost is calling diamond carbon wrap. Now if we look at the bottom and we look at the top, it looks somewhat similar to the carbon wraps you're going to see in the shops. But what's different about it is this carbon tape right here. And they're calling this SX glass. Now, just to talk a little bit about the glass real quick, what you see on most stock boards in the shops, they're using an E glass. Now there's a stronger one called S glass, and then this is stronger than S glass, it's called SX glass. And the idea for this is to offer, it's stronger, and to offer better consistency when the board loads and releases underfoot. So EPS foam core is already more lively underfoot, and this being stronger and having almost like a better memory, like loading and springing back to it faster than the original carbon wrap, is something I could definitely feel under my feet. Now the best way for me to explain that on a personal level is, I talk about this a lot, is, you know, standing up, getting to my feet and getting my feet on the sweet spot. Both the original carbon wrap and this new diamond carbon wrap felt great. It's got that pop, right? I felt like I could really feel that pop at the pool. Why? I feel like there's a little bit more power or push compared to where I normally surf. So when I came off the bottom, I feel it loading on this board. And then when I get to the top, it's offering that pop right at the lip. And it was almost exploding me from turn to turn. Now, what's different between this one and the original carbon wrap is I would notice that when my feet aren't on the sweet spot, that I would have inconsistency in my turns on the original carbon wrap compared to this one. So this one's offering more consistency. So like if I'm hitting a turn, I'm getting that pop and it's projecting me, even if I'm not on the sweet spot. The other thing I noticed about this board in this construction is when I was riding the waves that were overhead, even though it has that full rail, what I liked about it is I felt like it offered less vibration or chatter with this particular diamond tape. So all in all, the carbon wrap construction on the deck with the carbon on top is the same, and on the bottom, except for the SX carbon tape that they're using here. So right now, it's relatively new, and you can order the diamond carbon wrap online for customs, but you're gonna start seeing more of this construction showing up in the local shops on some of their stock boards. Now I wanna talk about the fins I chose and both boards, how they felt underfoot. I started with the Beta 2.0. This is a prototype fin. It's a full carbon layup, extremely light. They're calling it Vapor Core. Now, I have been testing these in other models, and they've been great. It's coming in balanced middle ride number, right? Roughly a 5. It has a flat foil, and this is an R8 on the side and a R6 in the medium. The R stands for rake, and the 8 is a large, 6 is a medium. They're also making a small and a 4. And what's cool about these particular fins is they're super light, and they are a bit stiff, so it's offering consistency. And I can't believe how light the fins are in this particular board. The board's light. I'm gonna weigh both the board and the fins together. I'll put the weight in the YouTube comment field below. But when I started with these in the ocean, I just went with a smaller or the medium center fin just to keep it nice and loose. And because it's a raked fin, it's gonna draw my turns out. But what I wanted was if I used a medium size in the center fin here, it's gonna help me get up and keep that tail loose, and also I'm looking for it to help me still pivot real good, and that's how it felt. It felt like it was pivoting real well. I had a lot of drive off the bottom. Even in my cutbacks, I felt like I was gaining speed through those turns. So this is a great combination. So I took it to the pool and rode it the same way. And I really liked it there too, but when I put it in the Proformance polyurethane foam with a polyester resin, it's got a little bit more weight to it. Same fin, same setup. That felt great too. And you know what I really thought that I liked about their Proformance? This is a pretty light glass job on this board too. So it doesn't have exceptional durability, but what it gives me is excellent pop in a PU. And I know there's a lot of guys in our community that like a PU feel. And I have a few waves, and you can see as some of these waves, I get a good turn, board's throwing a lot of spray, the wave kind of goes flat. And then all of a sudden it starts to go again, and the board starts to pick up that speed. So the board in general had great speed, and when I hit the turn, even on the PU, it had that pop that I'm looking for. And PUs just offer excellent consistency. Now, it's pretty rare for me to grab one set of fins and stick to it throughout the whole review, because I'm looking to pick the right fin to take a board that maybe feels good into the excellent range or even magical. So with all the fins to choose from, we stayed right here. I like the Beta 2.0. I think you guys will like them too. You can get them on the Futures website and offer feedback and help them fine-tune the prototyping process. Let's look at some waves together. Here's the explosiveness or pop I'm looking for out of this carbon wrap. Now on this little left, you can see it's fitting in those tight transitions real good, keeping me right in the pocket. Nice little turn. Watch the speed it gains on this. Nice little cutty right there. And when the wave gets hollow, there's still enough rocker for it not to bog or catch. Here we're out down the line, little projection snaps, throwing good spray. Just being able to connect the dots to get down the line and keep the speed up. Now this left right here, my stance is a little narrow, so I'm not in the sweet spot, but the board is still doing good turns, getting the tail free. Watch me extend my stance a little bit to be able to level the board out to hit that reverse right there. Now in this wave, it's well overhead. I would think that this is too big for the Uber Driver XL, but because of the lower apex, I can hit a turn like that and have confidence with all that speed that I got hold. This board went really good in the pool and in the ocean. So let's put this board in a category. We're going small wave performance board because it has that high performance shortboard outline, right? Now, who do I recommend it for? I would say even the lower intermediate surfer all the way to the expert level on the Uber Driver XL. And for guys that are expert to pro, obviously you're probably gonna ride the revised 2019 Uber driver. It's going to be a little bit thinner, a little bit more sensitive, and maybe not as much surface area in the nose and in the tail. Now, I like this board in 1 to 4 foot surf. I found myself in waves that were over 4 foot. It held just fine. It never felt like it was going to slide out. And the board that I preferred best out of the two, this new diamond carbon wrap, is epic. I didn't want to get off this board, and it is a favorite for 2019. Look, if you like the show, subscribe. And a special shout out to Matt Biolis and the folks at Lost for sending these boards down for review and dialing me in for the pool at BSR. Well, guys, until next time, you can find us at surfandshow.com. We'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.
Secrets behind these eyes, and you would never quite be satisfied. And there ain't no sympathy coming, sending my kindest regards. But it's not hard to fall apart, and I won't cry with a broken heart. Every end makes a brand new start, and your kindness will leave you least and lost. Now I met you in class today, and you seem to smile at everything I say. You laugh so much, but my jokes just suck, and I don't